welcome back to Albuff the Tub. My name is Adam, and today we're going to do a very special, different kind of video, as we're going to be doing a preview for the upcoming AFL Select Set Dominance 2020. We're going to go through the cards that have been previewed, they've been released, and we're going to get my opinions on them, have a look at them, see what their rarities are, and maybe you decide whether you want to buy a box or not. This is a premium set. What I mean by that is these aren't the sort of cards that you take to the footy, you give to the kids to take to school, if they were going to school, let's face it, and to trade and things like that. These are premium cards, and there's some very, very, very potentially expensive cards in this set, including things like autos, including things like really rare cards, you know, only 60 printed, things like that. So we're going to look at it today, and I'll give some opinions on the cards. First things first is, of course, we've got the set logo on the side here. They've gone with the silver gray sort of approach. Last year it was black and gold, so they definitely like to try to add that prestige of gold and silver and things like that in there. We've got the release date of Thursday the 3rd of September, but probably the important date if you do want this is the pre-order date, which is coming up if you're watching this on the day of release, tomorrow, Monday the 31st of August at 10:30 a.m. They do actually have one extra preview card that comes out on the Monday, so I won't actually have the preview for that one, but I should have pretty much most of the other ones in there. I'll put a link to the preview cards I don't have in there. I just want to get this out before pre-order so that you can have a chance of getting this product if you want it. All right, having a quick look at the binder and the box, you can see that silver and black attire. What I'm going to be doing is in my little logo, colorful logo part over here, is I'm going to compare it to last year's product, 2019. So you can see that last year was the gold and black approach. Pretty much the exact same design as last year, which is, let's face it, what Select likes to do. They like to keep the design pretty on point, which you'll see with some of these cards coming up. Product specific, there's 8 cards per pack, there's 36 cards per box, and there's 12 boxes per cases. But the important part is that pricing. And you can see that this is a premium product and, you know, it's got a premium price tag. So for a box of 36 packs, it is $245. A case is $2,800, which I'm pretty sure you get 12 boxes in there. A packs is $6.99 per pack. Albums are $25 with no pages included. That rings a bell for me, just because if you're telling me this is a premium product, why are you going to make me pay for pages as well? Just saying 10 pages or something like that. That's my first quarrel with this whole product. And then they've got a bundle special, which is hilarious. Box and album bundle special offer free shipping for $270. Now, if you add $245 and $25 together, you realize that it equals $270. So it's the exact same price for a box and album. They're just doing free shipping on it. Shipping for these guys is only about $10 or so. You're probably saving about $10 there if you go for the bundle as well. And then they've got the Select Ultra Pro pocket pages. You get 100 pages for only $30, which actually is a pretty good deal. Normally they're about 50 cents each. For a 9-page thing, it's normally about 50 cents, although if you buy retail, you can get it cheaper online, things like that. But I'm sure that you can pick up different pockets for your binder. So, you know, that's the pricing. Keep that in mind as you're watching this, whether, you know, that pricing matches up with what you think the product's worth. All right, this is our base common. You can see Mitch Lewis for the Hawks are representing our base for our example one. I really like the background. I really like the background. As usual, they're going with the team colors, which I'm always big fan of putting the team colors in there. And it's got sort of this like sky splatter sort of water spot type thing going in the background, which I don't mind at all. I like the design. I actually think that this year's design looks a lot better than last year's design. You can have a look, Jack Darling with the 2019 Dominance, and they've just sort of got that angular triangle sort of colors, you know, stabs in the background, which looks okay, but I actually really like this, and I'm very excited to see what the other teams look like, just to see how they incorporate those different colors into the background. So that's the base set. You'll probably be getting about 6 or 7 of these in a pack each time. All right, this is our base hollow parallel. You can see right here, if there is a numbering on it, I've put that in there as well. So this is going to be numbered to 350. So each player, generally there's about 220 cards, so there'll be probably 220 players with their base hollow parallel. And if I've got the asterisks, they haven't released the exact ratio. However, I'm basing these ratios on last year's product because, again, Select doesn't really like to update or change their product too often and too much. So this will be probably a 1 in 3 packs. So 1 in 3 packs, you'll get a base hollow parallel. See over here, the 2020 Dominance is going to be is featured by David Swallow from the Suns. And you can see Easton Wood and Bulldogs on the other side. I like the background. I don't mind the background. I think the colors are really nice. I like the fact that it looks really different to last year's card. I like the fact that they've actually really updated the design and had a go at that. And I like the swirls. It's got a bit of indigenous art sort of vibe in the background. If those circles are going to be there, But yeah, I really like it. Again, team colors are important to me. I think it really adds a lot to the card. And if you're giving me a premium product, I expect, a pretty premium looking cards. Compared to last year, again, they've got that sort of glass shadow sort of approach. I like them both. They're both different. I think, once I see the Tigers and once I see the other teams in it, it could be. I think they picked a good team to show off. So I think the Suns colors are really cool. So that's going to be the Holobass, and that should be in about 1 in 3. All right, we've got All-Australian card coming out again in 2019. Lockie Neal is our featured player over here. This should be about 1 in 6 packs, so you'll get probably 6 of these in a box. And you can tell that they've really changed the design. I actually much prefer the design for this year's set than last year's set. I felt last year's set was just a bit dark and a bit grim, and not so much focus on like the player themselves. It was more about the All Australian part. Whereas this one, if they're going to be the sort of background, if that's the coloured background because Lockie Neal's Brisbane colours, then I am huge fan of incorporating the player's actual team colours in the background of the card, which looks great. I like how they've gone to the landscape style. I think it looks great. And, that's a beautiful card to represent. I have popped down the 2019 AFL Australian team in the corner. So if you can't remember who you're looking for, obviously, my favourite player in the world is Basher Hooley. So I'm very excited to get my hands on the Basher Hooley All-Australian. That is a must for me. And if it doesn't come out in my box, then I'll definitely be jumping on eBay and grabbing one of those. Also, obviously, Grimes. But it was a good season for the few teams. Like let's have a look here. If you're a Cats fan, there's plenty of Cats in there. Tommy Hawkins, Tom Stewart. If you're a Pies fan, you got Brodie Grundy's, Scott Pendlebury. West Coast obviously is high on that list as well, with McGovern, Hearn, Yo. So plenty of really great Kelly. Oh, I guess Tim Kelly as well, technically, if you're a Cats or an Eagles fan. Now, I'm pretty sure this generally isn't numbered, so this should be pretty easy to find out in the wild wild west, that is eBay. All right, the awards cards. Now, these ones get a little bit rare. You have a less chance of finding this inside one of your boxes. We've got the 5 major awards, obviously featured here for the AFL Players Association Most Valuable Player, which was Paddy Cripps last year. You can see, again, they've sort of switched around. Last year it was that landscape shot, and this year it's portrait up and down. I think I like this year's a lot more. I just like how the award is really centered inside that sort of outside box as opposed to the outline around the award. Wasn't a big fan of that one. And also it was called Medal Cards last year. So I'm glad they changed the name to award, because from memory, Paddy Cripps doesn't get a medal. Does he get a medal for the player's most valuable player? I think he just gets a trophy, right? I could be wrong. If I am wrong, tell me in the comments. Awards. So Brownlow obviously went to Fifey. Norm Smith was Dusty in the Granny. Rising Star was Sam Walsh from Blues. Coleman was Jeremy Cameron from the Giants. And of course, the MVP was Paddy Cripps. So I'm sure those respective teams and supporters will be chasing after those cards as well. Now, the medal card wasn't numbered from memory last year. So yeah, but it is 1 in 108. So the chance of finding one of these in a box is pretty rare. You're looking at maybe 3 boxes or so to try to find one. Okay, new card this year is On the Rise. These are going to be numbered at 350. And my expectation, just based on what normally Select does with numbers to 350, is 1 in 9. So you should see a couple of these in your box. You should probably see about 3 of these in your box. Not much information on this. My guess would be that they've picked at least one player from each team who has really, probably a younger player, not a rookie, but a younger player who has climbed up the ladder this season as far as establishing themselves as a bit of a force inside on the footy field. You can see right here is probably the best example of that, I think, this season is Andrew Brayshaw from the Dockers. He stepped up huge this year for the Dockers, especially with Walters being out for injuries and Fifey being out for injuries. Andrew Brayshaw running through that centre has just really upped his game. And the moment Fifey went down, I went and picked up Andrew Brayshaw for my fantasy team because I knew that he was going to start gathering possessions, and he did not let me down and continues to not let me down. My hope for the Tigers, I know I'm going to talk Tigers, my hope's probably Shea Bolton for this card, because he's another example of not a rookie, but he's the game he stepped up this year is phenomenal for the Tigers. So I'm hoping that's probably a Shea Bolton. It could be more than one player. It could be more than one player a team. We don't know, not much information on this one. I'm sure more will come out once we get the checklist and we see who is actually on the card. All right, rookie cards. Now, this is a standard one. They always bring out rookie cards. This one is going to be numbered to 295, and you'll get 1 in 12. So you should be looking at about 3 different rookie cards in a box. I love rookie cards. I love celebrating and looking at the new players from all the other teams. On the side of this, I've got the top 21 picks from the draft in 2019. Most of these players have played their first game. Thomas Dow, for me, I'm recording this on the Friday where Thomas Dow actually debuted on the Thursday night against the Eagles. But, I think without even a second thought, the chase card here is Matty Rowell. Like, Matty Rowell is potentially... Look, Matty Rowell, with his form before he got injured, he was probably in Brownlow contention before he even got injured. So he's probably a future Brownlow medalist, and you've got to assume going number one with his skill set and his, already fame and popularity in the footy, like that's who you're chasing. Oh, he's definitely got one of these cards. You can see the change here. You've got Connor Rozzy down in the corner from the 2019 Dominance. Not a lot of change in this card. Obviously a similar pose because that's just the way that you get footy players and rookie players to pose each year. So a few little subtle differences. For example, Connor Rozzy, you can see his draft pick is behind his head, whereas now we've sort of onto the side. Still got the team colours. Look, this is one of the cards that I look at and go, kind of looks exactly like last year, but you got to update it for all the new players, right? Cody Waitman's already been playing well for the Bullies. Thomas Dow premiered for the Tigers. Will Day, I know, is very popular in the Hawthorn circles. Matty Rowell, of course, Noah Anderson, pretty much all that. Tommy Green, Pickett for Melbourne. I know they're very, very high on Pickett straight away with good reason. He's looking good. He's looking strong. So number to 295 and 1 in 12. So you get a couple of those in a box. This is a new card this year. This is a commemorative card, and it is numbered to 275. Not much to go on. All I've literally seen is just this preview card for the 2006 West Coast Eagles Grand Final Premiers, which you've got the names of the players on the side, but also just look at those names and the players, eh? You've got Fletcher, Braun, Cousins, Juddy, of course, Kerr, Dean Cox, Banfield, Worsfold coaching them, Wirapunda. Can't believe I went past Wirapunda. That was a gun Eagles team, and I know that all those Eagles fans out there are going to be chasing this card. They might be doing old Premiers. My gut feeling is they probably wanted a Premiers card, but because of a few teams in the AFL who hasn't won a premiership, Freo, Giants, Suns... Yeah, I think that's probably it. Because of those teams who haven't won premiers, maybe they'll have some sort of commemorative in a different way. For example, Freo could be commemorative for Fifey's, 2 Brownlows or something like that. So yeah, my gut feeling is they wanted to probably do a grand final one, which is exciting. I'm hoping that they kind of go back and do some older teams as well. So not the 2017 or 2019 Tigers, but go back to the 80s and grab some of those. Or go back to some of the olden players, because I think it's really important that we celebrate those old players. And a lot of the people who watch footy now don't even know the old players. So fingers crossed that maybe they can do a bit of that. But we'll learn more about this card as it comes out. A classic every single year. The ink signature is obviously a massive popular one. We're looking at numbered to 175, and generally you get 1 player per team. This year's card is being featured as Matthew Suckling, who's going to be our Bulldogs player. And you can see over in the corner, you've got last year's Dominance card, which not much change in this card style. However, for me, that's not a big deal because with signature cards, you need that lots of white space so that the player can sign, right? If they've got a really busy or, big signature, you got to give them enough space to sign. So I'm not completely critical, but really all they've done is flicked the name to one side and the players, they've just pretty much flicked that. And then that's all they've really done for this card. But not a big deal because they need that space for the player to sign. So I'm okay with that. Number to 175 and it's 1 in 72. So you should be looking at one of these in 2 boxes, which I'm not a fan. Look, if I was making these sets, I would try to guarantee an auto in every box. That would be my box hit, would be you get an autograph. If it means that, you just double the amount or you put an extra player in from each team, it just means that I think when you buy a box this premium and you don't walk away with something like an autograph, there's a bit of the feel bads. So in my opinion, I feel like you should be trying to get 2 players per team and having everyone guaranteed get an auto in the box. But that's just me. If I buy my one box, my one premium box, and don't pull an auto or something like that, I feel it got a bit of feel bads in it. Let me know. It could be wrong. Maybe you're like, you still love him, but that's my opinion. All right, draft pick signature again. Another signature one is numbered 175, and these are the draft picks. So you're looking at probably 1 from each team and their highest draft pick, for example. So I've just popped again that draft pick order of the top 21. You'd assume most of those players are going to have signatures in here. The example one was Marlon Bergman from the Power, who was he? Draft pick number 14 in last year's draft. You can see I like the style. They've changed it, which is good. You can see last year the Sammy Walsh draft pick number 1 card. It's just got the box area for the signature, whereas they've now opened up the space a little bit more like the ink signatures for the main players. So I like the change. I think it's a much better looking card than it was last year. I think they've done a really positive change with this card. I like the loop on the bottom of the card as well. It looks really pretty. And also, I popped this one in here as well. Callum Jamieson, who draft pick was 49. Now, he's confirmed going to be in there. Just on one of my random card Facebook groups, somebody posted this. Somehow they got their hands onto this card. And you can see there. So for Eagles fans, that's going to be your Eagles card that popped in there for Callum Jamieson. Really nice looking card in real life. Draft pick at 49. Obviously, the card you're chasing here is Matty Rowell. 100%. If you pull yourself a Matty Rowell, that's going to be, people are going to be chasing that card. Even though obviously the Suns aren't as popular, Matty Rowell is hugely popular already in the AFL, and he's definitely the player that you're probably looking for. Like last year was Sammy Walsh, this year definitely Matty Rowell. Surely he's had time to sign, been injured for most of the season, so you think he's got a bit of time. But yeah, Matty Rowell, and again, 1 in 72, so 1 in every 2 boxes, you might pull one of these. I just really feel like it should be 1 auto per box. All right, the big card of this one is the Dominance set, numbered to 60, so not many of these cards, and it's 1 in 432. For anyone who's Footy Star fans, this is your showstopper style card. You can see that there's not much change in the actual card itself, which I'm fine with it for this reason. You can see that in last year's Dominance, they had 9 teams. They didn't have all 18 teams, right? So, for example, Richmond wasn't in last year's one. I assume what they're going to do this year is have another 9, and they'll feature the teams they didn't feature last. So last year it was Paddy Cripps from the Blues, Sidebottom from Collingwood, Sandilands from Freo, Lockie Whitfield from the Giants, Tuke Miller from the Suns, Mitchell from the Hawks, Oliver from the Demons, Jonas from the Power, and McRae from the Bulldogs, which means they'll alternate it this year and they'll do the other 9 teams. So you're looking at Dominance players from the Saints, the Crows, Brisbane, Swans, Kangaroos, Richmond with obviously Dusty, the Cats, the Bombers, and the Eagles. So we don't know who the other 8 teams are, but we know that Dusty's going to be our Richmond representative. I love Dusty. I really do love Dusty. He has so many high-end cards. You would think that he's literally the only player that plays for Richmond. You know why. You know exactly why Select keeps putting Dusty as a high-end card, because he sells boxes. He is one of the most popular and one of the most recognizable and one of the most bankable players in the AFL. And if you made a Dominance card and you didn't put Dustin Martin in, people would complain. But that is, there's a lot of high-end cards for Dusty. Let's face it. And this is going to be, if you pull the Dusty, you sell it. That's unless you're a Richmond supporter, you put that up on eBay and you let the Tiger fans go ravenous over there. There's only 60 of Dusties, and it's 1 in 432. So you pull the Dusty, and you're not a Tigers fan, you sell it and go buy yourself, I don't know, something nice. You'll be picking up a really pretty price for the Dusty Dominance. Don't know who the other players will be, but I'm sure it'll be your peak, most well-known player per team. Simple as that. This is one of the high-end cards. Definitely one of the high-end cards. One is going to be a redemption card for this set is the captain's signatures. Now, these are numbered to 50 as usual, which means they're probably going to be 1 in 504. They haven't given us a preview of what the actual card looks like, just what the redemption card looks like at the moment. However, over in the corner is the Trent Cotchin one from last season. So you can see that was what they sort of went with, the footy design behind the player, and then enough space for the player to sign their name. This is, again, a high-end card. So you can see right here, you've got the Carlton one. So I assume I'm 100% correct. What they're going to be doing is the opposite 9 cards they did for the captains last year, they'll do for this year. So last year it was Tex Walker from the Crows, Zorko from the Lions, Heppel from the Bombers, Selwood from the Cats, Zeeble from the North Melbourne, Cochrane from the Tigers, Geary from the Saints, Kennedy and Hearn from the Eagles. Now, interesting thing is obviously the captain for Kennedy isn't the captain, for example, of the Swans anymore. It's now Luke Parker. So it's interesting that there's a few differences in some of those. Is that the only one? Yeah, Tex is now, Adelaide's now Rory Sloane. The other ones are all okay. Yeah, the other one. So it's just Kennedy and Tex who changed from last year. So that means this year is going to be the Bulldogs. It'll be the Bump So that'll be a chase one. Getting the bomb signature on that one would be really, really great. Power will be Tom Jonas. The Suns will be Jared Witz. Oh, I'd really like a Jared Witz. I'm a big fan of Witz. I really like Witz. I like Ruckman. Frio 85, that'll be another chase one as well. Who else we got? We got the Blues. So the Blues will be Paddy Cripps. Oh, there's some real chase cards here. Paddy Cripps, 95, Bompatelli, Brownlow, and award-winning teams, right? Collingwood with Pendlebury, another great player. You've got the Giants with Cogs, Hawks with Ben Stratton, and the Demons with Maxi Gawn. So some really, really great cards and great players to collect signatures of in that. However, that's going to be one of the real premium cards, one of the tricky cards to really find. All right, the next big card we have is the Generation Next Signature. Now, this will be absolutely huge because there's going to be two supporter bases that are really going to be chasing this card. We have got the Generation Next Signature card of the Kennedy father and son. Numbered at 74. The last year one down here you can see was the Shaw family that had Ray Shaw, Ree Shaw, and Heath Shaw, and that was 1 in 3,204 packs. So again, these are just unknown, me guessing based on what was happening last set, but again, this is probably going to be very rare once again. A little bit of sadness about this card, actually, just a little bit of sadness because, of course, I have no doubt that when Select decided that they were going to do the Kennedy line for this card, John Kennedy Sr., John P. Kennedy's grandfather and John Kennedy Jr.'s dad, was alive. Unfortunately, he passed away in June this year, actually on the day that JPK, his grandson, was to play his 250th game in the AFL. So pretty sad that, obviously this could have been all three generations, and unfortunately just due to sometimes in life those sort of things happen. But John Kennedy Sr. was an absolute legend of the game, legendary player for the Hawks, legendary premiership captain for the Hawks, premiership coach for the Hawks. He captained the Hawks and also coached North Melbourne as well back in the day. His son, John Kennedy Jr., premiership player for the Hawks for many years, and of course Josh P. Kennedy, the absolute gun that we now know, premiership player, all Australian for the Swans, and played a couple of seasons for the Hawks under the father son when he got picked up back in the day as well. So this is going to be a huge card, and those Hawks and Swan supporters are really going to be battling fiercely to try to get this card. So beautiful card. A little bit of sad that we couldn't get John Kennedy Sr. on there as well. Just unfortunately, I think the timing was there, but I'm positive that it would have been Select's intention to do a run with all three generations on there. But sometimes in life, those sort of things happens. But huge card, massive card, great pick, great family. So it should be a really great card if you can pull it or if you can find it. All right, well, now that is the preview so far. Now, there's still another 2 cards to be previewed, one on Sunday, the 30th of August at 10 a.m. But as you probably are knowing that this came out at 8:30 a.m. on that day. So I'll be releasing a video a little bit later in the Sunday, just previewing that card. And of course, the final preview card will be previewed on the Monday of the pre-order day. The card will be previewed at 10 a.m. and the pre-order is at 10:30 a.m. So there's not a lot of time. So I wanted to get this video out for you guys, just so you're informed of whether you want to jump in that pre-order and grab yourself a box or some cards or some packs or something like that for the 2020 Dominance set. In the description of this video, I will have the links to the 2 other preview cards, plus probably the links to the preview videos that I did for the cards as well. But that's enough from me. What do you think of this set so far? Do you like the look of it? Are you thinking about picking up a box or some packs, or thinking about picking up a case and chasing some of those really, really rare cards? Let me know in the comment section of this video. I can't wait to have some conversations about it. I love signature cards. I love cards like this, so I'm excited for this set. I'll be definitely opening at least 1 box of this on our channel. So please make sure you're hitting that sub button and the bell icon so you know when those are uploaded, so you can give them a bit of a watch. But apart from that, I'll see you in the comment section of the video, and I've got 2 more preview videos to come out, so I'll see you in those.